We're going to hear from Elaine O'Connell. Elaine is a resident of Broadford and she's raising urgent concerns about road safety in her village, pointing to what she describes as a lack of meaningful investment in traffic calming measures. With speeding vehicles passing through daily and minimal deterrents in place, she warns it's only a matter of time before a serious accident occurs. And I spoke with Elaine earlier to find out more. Elaine, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ellen. Thanks for taking the call with me this morning.
Oh, delighted to highlight them. Can you describe the situation and the dangerous incidents you've witnessed on this road?
Yeah, so I live in Broadford. I'm married in here. I'm here 18 years. And my kids go to the local school here. So I'm up and down at least 6 times a day walking to school. Now, I'm probably one of the few families that walk to school because most people have to drive because it's so dangerous to walk. So for us to walk to school in the morning, we should cross the road 3 times, but it's actually safer to walk along the footpath to get to school on one side, but we have to get off the footpath because a car is being parked there to get onto the road to go back again. And what's happened most recently is, there's a lot more cars coming, people are speeding, and that's happening nationwide. But for us, the condition of the road is quite bad. We have potholes in the main street here at the moment. We have potholes in the footpath. 2 weeks ago, even with the motorways being closed, all that traffic got diverted here through Broadford. And look, we're lucky to be in an area where there's a lot of industry as well, so we have a lot of heavy goods vehicles driving through the village as well. And, they're quite intimidating when they're coming through the village. And I suppose what I found in the village in the last few years, it's just been neglected. And we've heard that we're waiting for the sewage scheme to come in, and people have said they've been waiting for this for the last 30 years. But there's been no investment here. We didn't even have road signs to say you were in the village of Broadford. We had to get a grant for that last year or 2 years ago, and the council, fair play, they helped us with that. But we just don't have the basic infrastructure, and the county development plan, and everyone wants us to live in villages and small rural towns. And that's fine, but we need to have the infrastructure. Sewage is one thing, but we need to have safe footpaths, and we need to have traffic calming measures. And
can I ask you about that, Elaine? Are there any? From what you're saying, it sounds like there are no traffic calming measures in place, or if so, are they? Why aren't they working?
I would say there's 2. There's one, our fantastic shop called the Country Store. Everyone parks outside it, so that stops the traffic, and people have to slow down because of that. That's not even, I'm in jest here now. There's none. There's a stop sign. I live here just outside the stop sign, and the cars generally go mostly across the road, before they even stop at a T-junction. And every day I witness incidents happening there. I feel like if I'm going to be knocked down, it's within the 50-mile zone of Broadford, because there's a main road coming in here and most people walk this road. It's the most dangerous part of the road is within the 50-kilometre zone, and obviously there's no footpaths there. But, that's not I'm even talking about today, are the footpaths. I just want to get a few speed bumps put in. That's it, And in fairness, the County Council did a traffic management study last year, and we were told there was going to be traffic calming measures put in. That engineer has since left. I know there's a new engineer coming in, but we're talking 18 months later and there's still nothing. A few speed bumps would really help along the way. And I know there's a whole behavioural change that need to happen with people and driving and items like that. But I was driving through Ennis yesterday. There's speed bumps everywhere in council estates. A lot of the villages around here have them. Not, saying anything wrong around that. That's great that they have them, but we want them here too.
And that's understandable. I mean, and the fact that all you're looking for is, Elaine, a few speed bumps. It doesn't seem like the most major thing in the world. Does that just compound the frustration of it's something seemingly small to do, it hasn't happened up to this point, and this has been an issue for some time?
Exactly, and, if we're told something's going to be done, it would be lovely to have a list or somewhere. Where are we on that list or when it's going to get done? And if one engineer leaves and another one's coming, that's fine as well. That's what happens. But, just let us know when it's going to happen. And I know there's a lot of frustration in the village that, with this whole survey that was going to be done. There was a lot of other measures, and I know the council want to do it right. But for the here and now, just to save our kids, can we just get something temporary put in? And I don't think a few speed bumps, even, the bolted down ones, would cost an awful lot. I think a lot of the village would be happy to pay towards it, but we just need to get something done now. And I suppose the broader scheme of things, what I see when I drive around Clare, because I'm from West Clare and I drive over and back to East Clare the whole time. Every village is different. Every village has different things, and I just keep wondering why do they have it and we don't, and how does that difference happen? And there is money. We pay our rates, we pay our house tax every year. We live in an area here now in Broadford where there's a lot more turbines coming in here, and that renewable energy money that's going to be paid in rates to the council, could that be ring-fenced for infrastructure projects in areas to make every village rise up to be the same? Not that just one village gets it more than another. Is there some strategy in the council that, every village should have speed bumps, every village should have, 50 kilometre signs, and no potholes in their main street? I'm a bit disillusioned with all of this.
And I think I and all the listeners can sense your frustration, and I suspect you're not the only one in Broadford. I just wonder, I know the area, I know the school there. Is there any issues in terms of the school and concerns around road safety there?
Completely. So we had to ring the guards about a month ago because my children were crossing at the pedestrian crossing, which you're told to do, and a car came straight at them through the red lights. So, there's a whole, talking to any of the parents and the teachers in the school, they see incidents daily and they're not being acted on. And, we report stuff to the guards and they do what they can. But, we need speed bumps in front of the pedestrian crossings. It needs to be safer. The whole village needs to be looked at. Like in the county development plan, we're listed as a village for growth. And, I don't see how we can grow if the basic infrastructure isn't here. And I know there's a sustainability audit happening this week in County Clare for tourism in Clare and showing how people can have slow travel. I'd be afraid to tell a tourist now to come to Broadford or to some of the villages in Ireland to go for a walk because it's dangerous, and Broadford's known for cycling as well. Cyclists coming into the village, like we had a race here a couple of weeks ago, and the race committee, they had circled all the potholes and all the dangerous areas in the village in yellow. All the council had to do was come along and fix those afterwards. They're still not done, So I think if the council could look at, and it's not the engineers I'm getting at here, it's the people who make the decisions, enact the county development plan, make it real, use the money we're going to get from rates from the renewable electricity, and make this as a really nice place to live in County Clare, and make it safe for our people.
That is the least you could expect. And just finally, Elaine, have you or others raised these issues with the council, and what kind of response, if any, have you received?
I did, yeah. In fairness, in February in 25, I was very frustrated, so I sent an email to everyone, every TD, every county councillor and the council. And in fairness, the county council got back to me, and the director of infrastructure told me to contact the SCARF office, and that's where I got involved with the SCARF office engineer, who since left, and there's a new one coming now since. So I did get that. But that's all kind of gone quiet since as well. And that's where, perhaps if there's an action list or something where you'd know where you are, I don't expect things to get done overnight. But by now, I'd expect to at least have a few speed bumps or something in here. I don't think it's rocket science what needs to change or what needs to happen. And I know there's long-term plans, but we just need something done now. Yeah. Enough is enough.
A relatively small change would make the world of difference. And look, you are hopefully expediting this by highlighting it on the show. We will get in touch with the local authority to see what kind of response we receive. But Elaine O'Connell, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Focus to highlight this.
Thank you, Ellen. Really appreciate it. Take care.